Welcome to the first day of the 2025 AGTA, American Gem Trade Association's Inspire Seminar Series, sponsored by the AGS, the American Gem Society. Our first presentation this morning, leading off the Inspire seminars, is an exclusive unveiling of the RapNet Gemstone Trading Network, a platform for buying and selling loose gemstones from AGTA members. On our stage, Saville Stern, RapNet's Chief Operating Officer, and John Ford, Chief Executive Officer of the AGTA. John has been in the jewelry industry for the past 39 years. He opened his first brick and mortar shop in 1987 and earned his certificate in diamonds from the GIA, the Gemological Institute of America, in 1990. John began importing opals from Lightning Ridge in 1992 and spent more than a decade traveling, promoting opals through trade shows, eventually specializing in loose Australian black opal. And just as an aside, if you can grab a hold of him afterwards, take a look at his right hand, you will be very impressed. John joined AGTA in 2010 and over the years has won 10 Spectrum Awards. John is a supplier member of the American Gem Society and has been a frequent guest speaker not only here at the AGTA Tucson Gem Fair, but also at AGS conclaves and for AGS guilds. John has served on the AGTA Board of Directors and is now AGTA's Chief Executive Officer. Saville Stern is RapNet's Chief Operating Officer. RapNet is the world's largest diamond, jewelry, and gemstone trading network with daily diamond listings of over 1.5 million diamonds valued at over $8 billion. Apart from managing and growing RapNet, Saville is also a business graduate and an attorney. Please join me in welcoming Saville Stern and John Ford.
Thank you all very much. Last year, we actually started this journey. How many were here with my talk with Martin Rapaport? Raise your hands. Well, little did you know that what actually was going on was not just us talking about the increased demand for colored stones or some ethical issues with colored stones, that behind the scenes there were intense discussions on AGTA collaborating with Rapaport and co-sponsoring basically a new idea, which was to offer colored gemstones on RapNet. And it was a behind the scenes effort. It took about a year and a half for this to come to fruition. Myself and Bruce Bridges, the president-elect, had many, many discussions with Saville, and we've become all close friends. So a lot of people wonder, and some people have asked me, they're in the audience, why is AGTA collaborating with Rapaport? Why does that make sense for AGTA? And it's very simple. We're looking to increase our members' ability to have market access around the world. There is an unprecedented demand for colored gemstones. Now, people will say, well, how do you quantify that? Well, you quantify that from the fact that Rapaport has spent a large amount of money developing this site, and that's based on data, not on someone's opinion. So as far as for AGTA, we want more access to markets for our members. And the most important aspect of us participating in this endeavor was that it establishes that AGTA's Code of Ethics, principles of fair business practice, and our disclosure requirements are the standard for RapNet. As RapNet is going to be the standard for the world, that means no matter where in the world you're looking at, if you're going to do trade on RapNet, you are going to follow our Code of Ethics and our disclosure requirements. So that makes AGTA the world standard. And again, another question is why? Well, we always say we're the authority in color, right? AGTA is the authority in color. Well, if you're in the authority in color, it comes responsibility. Whether or not AGTA participated in the end with RapNet or not was not going to cause this to not happen. But what we wanted to do is collaborate to make it better for the industry. So that brings me to AGTA's role. We don't have a financial stake in the RapNet. We don't get a percentage of their subscription-based business. What we are is basically the administrator for our code of ethics, for our disclosure requirements, and we resolve conflicts. Let's say if a buyer has bought a stone, and of course you have AGTA members and non-AGTA members on RapNet from a non-AGTA member, and they have not followed the proper disclosure requirements, and there is a complaint lodged. That would be taken care of by AGTA through our long-established grievance procedures and grievance committee. And then if that complaint is not resolved satisfactorily, the offender would be removed from RapNet. So this is going to be a very ethical-based venture. That's our role. Our role is not to administer the day-to-day operations, but unfortunately, if there's an issue ethically, we will resolve that issue, I assure you. So our members have a great benefit from that. And you know, the benefit from that is, quite frankly, when they list on RapNet, they get the AGTA logo next to their name. No other organization will get a logo next to their name, because what this logo means worldwide is that AGTA is the trusted source. We are a brand. AGTA is a brand based on ethics. Whether you're buying something from our show, which we encourage all of y'all to visit the ballroom and the gym hall floor when y'all leave here, our show in Las Vegas, or our members on a daily basis, weekly basis throughout the year. This means you can buy with confidence and sell with confidence. Now, I know a lot of you have a lot of questions, and we have a little brochure that gives you some of the answers. Saville will have a very in-depth presentation. I really like the brochure. I do need a loop to see the AGTA logo, though, but other than that, I don't have much to say negative about it. A lot of people in our industry are not 20 years old, and things intimidate them. So there is which is very important to AGTA, there is a US-based helpline. So if you're trying to list a stone, or let's say you're trying to buy something and you're confused, you have someone to reach out. And I can't say enough about the Rapaport team and working with them, how helpful they've been, and that they actually share our ethics, they share our long-term goals. And at this point, Saville?
Thank you, John. Thank you, Gary. Good morning, everybody. I'm not as dynamic as Martin. I don't jump around and speak quite as well as he does, so you'll just have to bear with me as I plod along. I prepared a little presentation just to show people what the network looks like. So if you'll bear with me, I'll do a short PowerPoint. Can't do a presentation without a PowerPoint. And then we'll talk a little bit and get into questions and answers. I know there are probably a lot of questions. I don't know if I have all the answers, but that's what we're here for. So if we, yeah, it's on. No, it's not on. Can we switch to the PowerPoint? Okay, good, thank you. So from our point of view, a lot of customers have been asking us, a lot of clients have been asking us about gemstones for quite some time now. And it was fortuitous that John and Martin started speaking a year and a bit ago, and that we started moving towards this idea of adding gemstones to the predominantly diamond-heavy RapNet trading network. Because a lot of people are moving into color, a lot of diamond people are moving more into color, and a lot of color stone vendors are looking for additional markets in which to show their wares. So Gem trading is evolving. People are going online, and we want to make sure that we can help everybody go online in the correct and ethical way that John was speaking about. So I'm excited to introduce this new platform that really we hope will transform how gemstone dealers and buyers connect and trade. And so things are evolving, but at the same time they're staying the same. And what I mean when I say they're staying the same, gemstone trading has long relied on personal connections and traditional markets. And as we're moving this industry online, trust, personal connections, and traditions remain essential to fostering strong business relationships and ensuring proper, seamless transactions. There's no magic by putting your gemstones online. There's no magic by putting your gemstones on RapNet. It's still a buyer and a seller and a gem, and you've got to do the transaction in the same way that you would do it if they were standing across the counter from you. And this is quite an important point because online trading carries with it amazing benefits. You can reach thousands and thousands of new buyers, and you can see thousands and thousands of gems from different sellers. But it's got inherent dangers as well. You've got to make sure that you're careful how you buy. You've got to make sure you're dealing with the sellers that you know. And you've got to make sure you're dealing in a network that brings you together in a safe environment. So while there's a huge amount of benefits, it's not the same as dealing with the person you've dealt with for the last 30 years across the counter. And you need to deal with that as you expand into these new horizons. So while it's online, it's staying the same. The traditions, the values, and the way you buy and sell haven't really moved forward, and that's actually a good thing. I'll talk a bit more about that later, because we're going to talk a little bit about how diamonds and gemstone trading is different. So why did RapNet decide to launch this network, and what is it? Well, it's a dedicated marketplace for gemstones, 24/7 global access with ethical sourcing, and as John said, and I won't belabor the point, based on AGTA, Code of Ethics, values, and ethical sourcing. Just so people understand what RapNet is, because you may not all understand it, RapNet is a connections machine. We don't buy, we don't sell, we don't transact. We put together the buyer and the seller, and the buyer and the seller then have the freedom to transact in whichever way they want. Memo, credit, cash, however you want to transact, it's up to the buyer and seller, and the buyer and seller have got a great amount of freedom within the network. Of course, if you want us to help with a transaction, we do have a smart buy service where we can facilitate the transaction. But what I'm trying to say is once you pay your membership fee and you get into the platform, which is quite a difficult thing to do because we have quite a difficult, I don't want to say difficult, but quite a comprehensive scanning mechanism to make sure that we let the right people in and we keep the wrong people out. So once you pass compliance and we let you into the platform, you're free to transact with whoever you meet over there. And if there's a problem, of course, we will help you take care of it. And we will, like John said, throw off people that don't behave according to our standards and our trade rules. That's what RapNet is. We've got diamonds, like John said, 1.5 million diamonds roughly for sale every day. A great amount of activity, searching, buying, contacting sellers. As of today, actually as of yesterday, I didn't check this morning, we had 43,000 gemstones listed, and we only opened on Sunday. So I'm quite excited that people have taken this opportunity to get involved in the network and list their gemstones. And in fact, last night I was speaking to somebody at the cocktail who told me that he's already had 2 transactions. And I was quite excited about that. One was from an existing client, but through RapNet, and then one was from a new client. And that's exactly what we're there for, connections machine. So the reason we're launching the network is, as we explained, there's a growing demand for colored stones. There's a growing demand from retailers to have the full package, and not just diamonds from RapNet, so diamond, gemstones, jewelry. There's a growing demand from diamond people who are moving into color, or a lot of colored people who are wanting to deal with the diamond trade. And of course, RapNet's got thousands and thousands of retailers in the US and around the world looking for these stones all the time, and so you get access to that client base, as well as that client base getting access to all these sellers. So that's why we're doing it. Having said that, we're in a learning phase at the moment. We're learning about how to do a trading network for colored stones. And the one thing we know for sure, it's not the same as diamonds. Everything else we're still learning. And I'm very pleased that we've got such a good relationship with the AGTA, who's helping us through this learning curve. We've got a lot of experience of our own in color, but nothing like the years of combined experience that we're getting from the AGTA leadership. And that's been very helpful. But you will find that at the beginning, we're very open and we're very, should I say, we're letting people do whatever they want in the beginning as things settle down. And then we'll slowly start making sure that we fix things up, apply stricter rules as things shake out. So you'll see in the beginning, color descriptions may be not where you want them to be, but as time goes on, we'll get that better and better and better. But there's fundamental differences between diamonds and gems. First of all, diamonds have standardized pricing. They have standardized grading. Gems don't. Not in either of those. And that makes it more difficult when you're buying and selling over the internet. It's a lot easier to buy a standardized product over the internet. You know, when you're buying a diamond and you want a GVS1 with a GA grade, with grading report, you know what you're getting within a certain range. Not the same with gems, and in my opinion, that's a good thing. I'll explain to you why, but in my opinion, it's a good thing. And obviously, gems have completely variable pricing. The range in gem pricing is a lot larger for similar stones, for lots of reasons. Origin, inclusions, and all sorts of reasons, but the range is much larger than the tolerance you would find in diamonds. Without alienating the diamond people in the room, I find that to be quite a good thing, personally. I like the fact that we still sell gemstones and we don't sell paper, which is really what a lot of the diamond industry has become. We just sell certificates and the diamond comes along with it. And I'm quite happy to go back to the days of an actual vendor selling an actual stone and not pushing paper. And that's really where we're at with gemstones. So it's very important then who the vendor is. Because with diamonds, it's very important what the certificate says. With gems, it's very important who's selling it and who is saying what they're saying. And that's very important for a RapNet client. That's ABC. Why? Because the transparency of RapNet goes to the point of, well, you can search. We give you the listings. We go into the detail of the gem. We show you the certificate if there is one. And we tell you who the vendor is, and we let you contact the vendor directly through phone or through our trade center. So that transparency that we bring to our network is perfect for gemstone buying and selling, because that's what you need as you buy and sell gemstones, even in a safe network like RapNet. I don't need to go on about how important color is. I know nothing about it compared to you guys. I just want to say that for those of you that are vendors, color is crucial. Color description is crucial. Please take the time to properly describe the color. Please take the time not to talk nonsense and to actually describe the color in a way that buyers can understand it. And that way you'll get more contacts, more people who want to buy from you, more people who want to deal with you. In general on RapNet, the more information you provide as a seller, the more likely it is that you're going to get people contacting you. The more videos you give, the more photographs you give, the quality of the photographs, the better the description, the more likely it is that someone is going to contact you. Just think of your own experience online when you're shopping. If you see something online and they don't have a price, next, you move on. If you see something online and the picture's terrible, next, you move on. It's not that different for gemstones. So for those of you that are vendors, please, color description needs to be accurate, it needs to be excellent, and it needs to be consistent. Now, there's a lot of issues with color. There's no consistency even between the grading labs. There's no consistency between the vendors. That's okay. As long as you know who you're buying from and you know what that vendor says means X, Y, Z to you, then you know what you're buying. So pay attention to the vendor, pay attention to what they say, and encourage your vendors to give you proper color descriptions. Enough about that. I'm sure it's going to come up later. Okay. How do we help with color description? Not very well. What do I mean by that? We leave it up to the vendor to type whatever they want into the color description. In other words, I'm not giving drop-downs, I'm not forcing standards, I'm not forcing another way to describe color to make yet another standard in the industry. You know, there's always a joke in the tech industry, which is, there are too many standards, there's 10 standards for whatever. We're going to make the standard that will just deal with all the standards, and then there'll be one. And you make the standard, and then there are 11 standards. And we're not trying to do that. We're not trying to force standardization. At this stage, I don't think it's possible, and I don't think it's desirable. And so what we're asking is, we're giving freedom for people to fill in free text, however they want, color description, stone descriptions, a lot of places where you can add information, and we're encouraging our vendors to do that. And I must say, disappointingly, many vendors have chosen not to do that so far, and they've got a color description that says green, or sometimes even red, and this is not helping in the long run. But it's okay. We'll start out like that, and then we'll talk to the vendors and say, that's not really a color description. How about giving some descriptors? We've also made the search extremely easy, and you'll see when I get into the demonstration of the actual site, which won't take long, and I'm almost there, that you've got a free text search, so you can type anything and find anything. So you don't have to search around and work out what you're trying to do. You can just type in the text bar what you're looking for. Say you want a vivid green. You could just type vivid, for example, in the free text. It will bring up all the vivids that we have. So we've made the searching easy. We've made the selling easy. And now we're just asking the vendors to play their part in uploading the data that they have. And we're asking the buyers to say to their vendors, this isn't a listing. Come on. Give us a better, you can do better. Photos are a must. You can't list a gem on the RapNet without a photograph. We won't accept it. We'll accept the listing. It will stay in your inventory, but it won't actually show in the search or a video. We've got a tie-up with Gem Lightbox, so many of you see them downstairs at the show. We think they're excellent as a solution for taking Gemstone videos and images. And so we have a direct API computer connection with them, which is coming online towards the middle of this month, I hope. And that means if you're using Gem Lightbox and you're uploading to their cloud, they can automatically connect your images to your stock on RapNet without you having to do anything. So, I encourage everyone to visit Gem Lightbox if you have a chance. We think they're great, and they keep coming out with excellent machines. And of course, direct communication. How does RapNet help with color communication? Well, there's a phone number. Pick up the phone, call the vendor, talk to the vendor. And like I said at the beginning, this is what I said, that at the beginning we're a bit loose and we're allowing people to say whatever they want. As time goes on, we're going to start tightening that up. Okay, there's not much to be said about that. We expand everybody's network for buyers and for sellers, and that's exactly the reason we exist. We really exist to help you buy more, buy better from new vendors. We exist to help vendors sell more, sell to different suppliers, get new relationships. We're a connection machine. Okay, finally, before we hit the demonstration, why did we partner with AGTA? John hit on most of the highlights, and I won't repeat everything, but RapNet and Rapaport is a values-based organization. For those of you that know Martin Rapaport, he's very vocal about values, about ethics. He's very driven whenever there's human rights violations in any of the sourcing countries to try and bring that to light, deal with it. He published pictures of dead bodies when the war was going on in Sierra Leone in the Rapaport magazine, which was very upsetting to the diamond industry. Why are you exposing these kind of things? We're a very ethics-based organization, not only in terms of human rights, but in terms of how we do business. We've turned down countless deals with people where we could have made a lot of money, especially out of Africa, because they just didn't meet our ethical standards. And this resonates with us, with AGTA, in terms of the high value placed on ethics, on ethical sourcing, and on ethical trading. And like I said before, the experience of the AGTA when it comes to colored stone is something that RapNet's gaining a lot of benefit from as we help bring this trading network to life. So that's why we partnered with the AGTA. Yeah. Let me see if we can get to the... All right. Here's a quick look at some shots of the network, and I believe if I press a button, it may even play the video. We've got a quick search at the top, so you can choose the stone type. There's many more stone types, but we just chose the most popular to put at the top. Then you can choose your gem shape and then your color, and that will quickly give you a search. Let me see if I can do it while the video is playing in that way. Apparently not. There's a way to get this to do it. Hang on, I think it's here. Yeah. So when I took the video, there were 37,000, there's 42,000 images. You can see we show a nice big image. We give you the color, the type, the carat weight, the millimeters, search if there is any, and allow you to do a quick search, for example, by pressing the top, a nice pink heart-shaped sapphire. You can then scroll down and have a look at the pictures, have a look at who's offering them for sale. The name of the seller is at the bottom. And in a second, I'll probably click on one of them. Yeah, probably. Come on. Oh, there's additional filters where you can see if you want to have more types of gemstones or extra colors, or refine your search even further by weight or by price or by vendor even. You can do that. You can also type in the top. That's the free search I told you. So I'm looking for, I just used Colorline as an example. You can see Colorline's got an AGTA logo next to them because they're an AGTA vendor. And, whoa. That was not planned. I would have thought all my kids are sleeping since it's 15 hours different between where I am and where they are, but apparently not. And then here's, you can see the whole detail of the stone, the price per carat, and you can contact the seller, type any message you want. It will go into our trade center where the vendor has a message. It's like a chat kind of program we have inside the trade center to keep things safe. And you can start talking like that, or you can pick up the phone to them. That's a quick view of the site. I don't think there's much else to see. And that's it. So right now, if you're not a RapNet member, you can become a RapNet member for gems free of charge until AGTA in June to try it out, kick the tires a bit, see how it goes. So between now and June, we encourage everybody to get involved, get signed up. If you're an AGTA member, that takes care of most of the compliance, and we won't give you a hard time with a lot of the compliance, but we still will need business licenses and personal IDs and some of the compliance. But we won't be checking references like we do for everybody else, because we would assume that if you're an AGTA member, you're one of the good guys. And you're welcome to join. Come down to our booth until the end of the show. Call our office, take a brochure. It's got a phone number next to the small AGTA logo. And that's it. If there are any questions, I'm here to answer them. And the ones I can't answer, I'm just going to deflect to John. Your question's a good one. We do have a reduced rate for appraisers for diamonds. I haven't thought it through for how we're going to do it for appraisers when it comes to gems. I have had some interesting discussions with some of the appraisal companies that are here and some of the software companies where I understand what they need and what you need for comps. It would take me some time to get it all together. So the answer is, there will probably be. I don't have anything to say right now about it.
So if you're already a RapNet member and you want to do this, is there a combination price or are they separate?
It's a good question. If you're a RapNet member, meaning you've got access to the RapNet trading network, not just getting the price sheet, which is a Rapaport membership, it's part of the trading network. We're not separating it out. People get diamonds, gems, and jewelry for the price. We're not doing a special only gem trading network. We're doing a addition to RapNet. And so if you're already a RapNet member, you've got access already. third icon down on the menu on the left.
Who's going to put the color gems on RapNet? AGT members only, or any Colorstone dealer here?
So let me answer that in two ways. It's anybody who meets our membership criteria. If you're an AGTA member, it's preferred. You get the badge. You get less compliance checks. But RapNet is not limited to AGTA members. That's the first answer. The second answer is I'm actively canvassing AGTA members because I believe that's the right audience for this trading network, at least in the beginning. And we want that as a core. And we want that to be the dominant sellers and dominant buyers on the network. So while anybody can join, I'm not rushing off to Sri Lanka or Thailand and saying to people, join. I'm looking at the American gem dealing community and specifically the AGTA community, at least initially.
All the way in the back.
And if we're a member and we are paying to have access to this, will we be seeing ads like AGI on there?
Yeah, we have banner ads, I think, at the top of the screen.
So you'll have advertising on there?
Yeah, yeah.
Just, I'm sorry, follow-up. If we are already a member of RapNet, we automatically get access to?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
If you want to pay us extra, I won't stop you, but it doesn't.
Is there any way, I know that AGTA has ethical standards for the way stones are mined and the way that people are treated and so forth and so on. Is there going to be any criteria like that for the members of this new group?
Yes, we've adopted AGTA's ethical standards for the RapNet trading network. So the same standards that apply to AGTA members apply to all RapNet gem trading.
If you're not familiar with them, you can go online and our Code of Ethics and Fair Business Practices is available. If any of you have our show informational pamphlet, in the back of it has our disclosure requirements. So they're two separate documents, but they're both readily available if you're not familiar with them already.
Yes.
Is it exclusively in the beginning for just colored gemstones or pearls and other kind of organic gems allowed as well?
Pearls, yes,
You're asking us.
but
Yeah,
and
Is that what you're asking us if that's?
No, pearls, I wasn't sure if
pearls,
pearls were
yes,
included
and
beyond the.
and other
colors.
naturally occurring gemstones, no synthetics, and no composites and kind of the I don't even know what term to use.
Doublets,
to describe.
triplets,
Right.
et cetera.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there were some other weird ones I came across yesterday that. No, they were like glued together. It was I don't know, some weird thing.
Welcome to Tucson. Any other questions?
Well, when you say naturally occurring, does that include cultured pearls?
Yes.
What's the response like from AGTA members so far?
Very good. I mean, how many thousand stones do we have up already?
43.
So
Are they all AGTA members then?
Not all, but most. I have to say, I haven't been this busy at a show in years. And I don't know if it's because we're offering it free for a while that it's exciting to people, because why not? But extreme amount of interest, excitement. A lot of effort went into getting stones onto the network by the vendors. We started basically in the second week of January when people were finished with the season and back from New Year. And in those 3 weeks, people uploaded 40,000 gemstones. And this was while they were preparing for the show. So they really made an effort, and it paid off for those people that have already made some sales through it.
overall, the association seems to be positive about it. There are members that have questions. And again, they don't see change necessarily as positive, but what we're doing is addressing. Saville and I will be going around the show, talking to anyone that has a question at their booths, Anybody that's, of course, wants to stop us, we're more than welcome to talk to, because we have to make sure people understand it. And once they understand it, there's a different opinion usually. But this is just the beginning. This is the infancy. But I look for it to be a very useful tool for AGTA members and for the entire colored gemstone industry as demand continues to increase worldwide.
Yes?
I don't know if you tackled any my question before I just walked in. Will you, just like Rapaport, price sheets, I know colored stones doesn't apply really, but will you have price guidelines, anything that it has to do with pricing, just like maybe Gem Guide or Gem World, they have this little book, anything that you would have on the website as far as what the market prices are, let's say for a 2-carat Patparacha, what are we expecting to pay? Or it's just the inventory and we're just searching for inventory and going as stones are available. Any price guidelines for gemstones? I know it's a tough question. And
Easy.
It's a tough question and it's a fair question, and the answer is hard.
Yeah.
The answer is at this stage, no price guidelines. We're not planning on anything right now. However, if you go on the network and you see 20,000 emeralds, you can price them from high to low and have and put them in a certain quality, like and do your own pricing. And it may be that as time goes on, we'll be able to say this is our most expensive and our cheapest within a certain range. But right now, there's no pricing guidelines planned.
Yeah, there is not going to be a colored stone Rapaport list.
Right, yeah, it's really broad, but I thought maybe something like this is at work, so, thank you.
More questions? Yes.
How many people now belong to RapNet? Like, how huge is your network?
We've got about 13,000 companies and another 5,000 to 7,000 individuals around the world, and that runs the gamut from huge manufacturers of diamonds in India to tiny retailers in Italy, and America. Some of the biggest suppliers are there in America. For example, Stella is on RapNet as well as a supplier, and some of the biggest retailers are there as buyers. So we run the gamut from basically mine manufacturers all the way down to retailer. That's where we stop. We're very strictly B2B. We don't let anybody on who isn't in the industry, which annoys a lot of people who I've just retired and I still want to keep my hand in, can I join RapNet? And we say, well, no. And they don't understand why. Leads to a lot of emails. And we, so we're very strictly B2B, and we're very strictly good B2B. We throw people out quite regularly. It's more important for us to have a good network than to have a lot of members. And we've got quite a few people on a blacklist, for example, who can't get into RapNet no matter how hard they try and how many different disguises they put on. And there've been some fraud rings during over the years that we've cooperated with the authorities on and helped them when need be. And I'll just say this, to everybody: we cooperate with authorities. If the police or the FBI want to know something, we'll tell them. So RapNet isn't a place to do something you wouldn't want your grandmother to know about.
Danny?
Are you going to be rating the stone dealers like we rate the diamond dealers, if they're poor rating, good rating? Are you going to have that same system where the colored gem dealers are rated as well?
It's exactly the same system. It's a community rating. You can rate somebody if you do a transaction with them, or if they're no good. Ratings are, a bad rating doesn't necessarily mean we'll take action, but it does mean that people seeing a bad rating, think twice about that vendor, and so those vendors normally bend over backwards to try and get rid of that rating. If there's too many bad ratings, we do take notice, and we have thrown people off for continued bad ratings. People get bad ratings for all sorts of reasons. Bait and switch, they put in a price, and when you phone them, oh, I made a mistake, my technician made a mistake, it's actually this price. that kind of thing. Bad listings, where they say it's one thing and it turns out to be another. Terrible communication, where they're rude, they shout, they scream, and we have all sorts on RapNet. So we encourage rating, and we take action if the reason for the rating is actionable.
More questions?
At the back there.
Yeah.
Is there a way to upload lab certificate information and all that sort of stuff?
So in the diamond world, yes. In the gem world, none of the labs really have internet, automatic connections with data. So any lab information you want to upload has to be done by the vendor. What we have at the moment is you can upload the images of the certificate, as well as what did the lab say about color or about origin or about clarity sometimes. I think we're going to develop that further if there's demand for it. Right now we're just doing mostly the images. That you can upload the information, but it's very rough at the moment, and depending on how the vendors want to go. What I'm seeing with the vendors is that they don't really keep the lab information in their inventory files. They keep whatever information they have and then a picture of the cert, but they don't actually take the cert information separately. So yeah, the answer is yes, based on how the vendors want to do it.
All the way in the back.
Fantastic question. The question, for those who didn't hear it, was, can you put in sets of gemstones or only single gemstones? I'll tell you why it's a fantastic question, because it's the one I've been getting the most since I've been here from Monday. Again, the answer is what I've been saying all along, not yet, but that's going to be one of the first things I'm going to start working on when I get back. There's been two kinds of requests. One is for calibrated stones, which I think will handle differently from the way we deal with the single stones. And then parcels, sets, layouts, things like that, which I think are also going to be important. One of the big questions which needs to be answered, which I'll be talking to our advisory group, is if you put in a parcel or a set, can it be broken up or not? In other words, if I'm putting in a set of 20 stones, do I have to sell do you have to buy all 20, or can I just buy 10 of them? And that's a difficult question, especially when you're buying over the internet, because selection prices are different to if you buy the whole parcel. Who selects? If the vendor selects, is it okay? If you select, we're going to have to deal with all those issues. But in diamonds, we have melee, we have parcels, and that's the first thing I'm going to develop for gems when I get back as well. Right now, people are putting up match pairs in the single stone section, and I'm fine with that.
More questions? One last, yeah?
Just like diamonds, you can upload a video of the gem
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Any more? Well, very good. Please, a round of applause for our speakers.